Welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked, where passion meets possibility. Here's your host, #1 Amazon bestseller, Meredith Calloway.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Travel Business Unpacked podcast. I am your host, Meredith Calloway. And on today's episode, it is a solo episode. I'm flying solo today, pun intended, because we are starting a new type of podcast episode that's going to be all about breaking down frequently asked questions, things that we get. And so today's theme of our frequently asked question episode is basically starting from scratch. And so this is geared towards the person who's still in the discovery phase of the travel industry and becoming a travel advisor as their next career move. So if that's you, I hope you enjoy today's episode. And if that's not you, but you know someone that is in that phase, feel free to share this episode with them so they can get some of these questions answered. I was in this discovery phase myself many, many, many years ago, and there wasn't near the same amount of content that can be found. And #1 resource to start with, I would recommend is HAR, Host Agency Reviews, because it's just a fantastic resource that did not exist when I was doing my research for learning about this profession. So that's my little intro for today's episode. Let's dig into it because I want to get to as many nuggets as possible so that you can leave this episode knowing a lot more than you knew before. So the first question in our list of frequently asked questions on the topic of starting from scratch is, what does a travel advisor actually do? Is being a travel advisor a real career that you can make a living from? Love this question. It's 2 questions really, but they're excellent questions, a great place to start. So what does a travel advisor do? Ultimately, a travel advisor is someone who is planning vacations or business travel, I guess you could be doing, for clients. And it's from soup to nuts, right? One of my favorite ways to describe, when you really dig into it, the modern travel advisor, what they do is comparing it to if you were to be doing a home renovation. In a home renovation, if it's a pretty extensive one, you're going to hire a general contractor. And that general contractor is going to have subs. That general contractor is going to understand the full scope of the project, the destination that you want to get to with this home renovation. You want a new bathroom, you want a new kitchen, you want, whatever it is. You want an addition. So they are going to have the full scope of the project. They're going to have, a list of vendors or subcontractors that they work with, that they have negotiated their own rates with, and they rely on them because they're reliable subs. And the general contractor is going to help price out, give you a cost estimate of what this renovation is going to be. And the general contractor is going to sequence the project in a way that feels more seamless and makes more sense, which is something you, as the homeowner, especially if it's an extensive renovation, really wouldn't have the wisdom to even know how to sequence it. So a travel advisor is very similar in that regard. A travel advisor is going to understand the full scope, right, of this vacation request. They're going to help you understand how much it will cost. The one thing that I want to layer in here is that in addition to what the contractor does in a home renovation, another thing that they might do is hire a designer at the request of the homeowner. And so the designer will be layered in too to help make selections on colors and materials and possibly even draw up, not necessarily what an architect would do, but draw up the before and after looks to give you a concept of what you really want. So let's start with that designer. So the travel advisor is both the general contractor, project manager, and the luxury designer. So that's one aspect of your job as a travel advisor, is you are a travel designer. And one of the best ways to be a good travel designer is that you're going to work with the right partners. And so just like a general contractor has their subs, a travel advisor has access to partners that pay commission, that are reliable, that, are vetted, and the advisor knows will be able to deliver on the vacation experience, an exceptional vacation experience. So hopefully that helps answer the question. So a travel advisor is way different than what it used to be. That's another question here. And so I'm going to go ahead and answer that one question while I'm at it. Is there a difference between a travel agent and a travel advisor, or are they used interchangeably? They tend to be used interchangeably, but that's becoming less and less common. In my opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, travel agent is a phrase that describes the old, school, what a travel agent used to be. Um, and to me, a travel advisor really is a better depiction of what a travel advisor does today, because it is an advisor. It is someone that designs itineraries. It's someone that project manages the itineraries. It's someone that has access to the right partners to make sure that you're working with the partners that can truly deliver on this. And they know how to sequence the trip in a way that feels seamless, that's efficient, and they know what's too much, right? They know if you're going to Europe for a week, you really don't want to do 4 countries in a week. Something like that. They're gonna, and a general contractor would probably do the same. You don't want to take all of this on at the same time if you can't move out of the house. So hopefully that answers the question. What does a travel advisor actually do? And is being a travel advisor a real career that you can make a living from? 100% yes. But here is the thing. Most people don't. 70 to 75% of people who become a travel advisor fall into that accidental hobbyist trap. I wrote an entire book about this. So I don't want to bore you with the details now. Check out my book, The 7-Figure Travel Entrepreneur. You can get it on Amazon. It talks about, it's my mission to help people with that passion for travel to avoid falling into that trap. And so the framework of the book is escape plan, and the ESCAPE of the escape plan, each letter stands for another component of the plan. But it is a real career, and the opportunity is huge right now. And the reason why it's huge is because it's taken a while for travel advisors to really solve for the business model problem. It was a bit of a broken business model, so it was really hard to generate enough income that would replace someone's career income. But there are ways to do it. And now with the increase in luxury travel consumption that we have been seeing over the past 4 years, and that trend is not slowing down, and experts predict that trend to continue to grow. Luxury travel consumption is going to continue to grow, and Wall Street is betting on it because we have big travel providers investing heavily in the luxury travel market. Ships are being built, and it's not just mass market cruise ships. It's your boutique luxury cruise lines, like some of these luxury hotel lines are bringing new ships and whole new cruise lines into the market. Hotel rooms are being built, and it's not 1-star, 2-star hotel rooms, 3-star. It's 5-star hotels that are getting built. So there is a massive growth trend. And I think the opportunity is huge right now because I don't think there are that many people as focused on selling luxury travel as there is a demand for it. So the answer to that question is a big, big, big yes. The problem, turning it into a real career that you can make a living from, is it's so easy to become a travel advisor right now. It's very low cost. There's no barrier to entry. You can sign on with a host agency and within 2 or 3 days have very sophisticated booking tools at your fingertips for a whole $500 in a membership fee, and but no one's giving you any kind of guidance on how to actually build a seven-figure business out of it. And if you want to be a six-figure earner, you have to be a seven-figure producer. That's also the point of my book. And I'm I mean, most careers to make a living from, if you can earn six figures, and there are travel advisors out there, not many, but there are travels out there that are actually earning seven figures, not producing, but actually earning seven figures. So, yes, the answer is absolutely yes. The disclaimer to that question is you have to have the right plan, and you have to have the right resources, and you have to have the right community. So and all of that can be found in a host, quite frankly. So the next question is, do people still use travel advisors? Yes, absolutely. In fact, we've seen a very big upswing in awareness of the travel advisor and demand for the travel advisor since the pandemic, because people who had been booking travel all on their own got swept up into the mayhem that happened when travel got shut down, not knowing how to get deposits back. They had no one to advocate for them. They had no one to help with canceling things and rebooking things. And when things started to open up to travel, it was a moving target of what you needed. Do I need a COVID test before, after? Do I need to do this? How do I get into, even just to the Caribbean? How do I get on an airplane in this post-pandemic era? Now that that's behind us for the most part, we also have, travel warnings that are still happening. So people are very much, the demand for the travel advisor is growing, especially on the luxury end. Do you need a certification or degree to become a travel advisor? Which I kind of already answered, but the answer is no. You don't need any certification. You don't need a degree, which is one of the reasons why we have the program, the Travel MBA program. Our program is not a certification, but I do think it is like getting an entrepreneurial business school degree. I really do, because that's one component. There's four very important legs to our Travel MBA program. And just like a chair, if you take one of the four legs away from that chair, it becomes very wobbly. And so our belief is give them the four legs to the chairs to have a very solid foundation to build that business on, so that they can get to becoming a seven-figure producer, six-figure earner. It is absolutely architected to help someone build a seven-figure travel business and a six-figure earning travel business. So no certification needed, no training required. And how do I say this diplomatically? There are certifications out there that you can get, and consumers have no care in the world if you have that certification or not. It's not something that it's not even on their radar, those certifications. There are a lot of people that like getting those certifications. It makes them feel better about themselves. It makes them feel like they have some credibility because they've got some letters after their name. But I think if someone did a consumer survey, I think you would find that most people don't realize that there is a certification that travel advisors can get. And so they're not filtering or synthesizing their choice of a travel advisor based upon the fact they have a certification or not. But that doesn't mean travel advisors shouldn't get education. We really believe they should, and that's why we have Travel Business University is a benefit of when you host with Gifted Travel Network, you automatically get access to Travel Business University, which is community, it's guidance, it's a form of coaching and mentoring. So, what is the purpose of joining a host agency? I love this question. And I do address this in my book in one of my chapters. So, another reason to get the book. But the purpose of joining a host agency is, let me back up. When you decide to follow this career path, your greatest source of income is going to be commissions paid on the travel you book. That's probably going to represent 70 to 80% of your income. The other percent is going to be made up by service fees as well as you might do some other things. You might have some affiliate links, and get paid a little bit of an affiliate fee for selling suitcases or travel books. Who knows? But the majority of your income is going to come from commission. And the only way to have a travel provider pay you commission is if you have the credentials needed for a partner to pay that entity a commission on travel booked. And so you have two options for those credentials. Number one, you could get those credentials yourself so you can go totally independent. Number two, you can affiliate with someone who already has the credentials. And to the newcomer, often the newcomer will think, oh, well, if I can get it myself, let's cut out that middleman. I don't need that middleman. So I am going to go independent. I'm going to go get my IATA is what really the credential is. It's the IATA card, and an IATA number. I'm going to go get my IATA number myself. That way I can keep all my commission. And that just seems to make more sense. Now, the thinking brain, that's logically, what? But there's so many other reasons to join a host. And that's even accurate. Reason why you're actually probably going to make more money by affiliating with a host, the right host for you, the right match for you, than you would being independent. And here's why, is because the host has buying power. And so they are able to negotiate much higher commission rates with the travel providers than if you are on your own. So the standard commission on travel booked is 10%. That's absolute standard in the industry. Sometimes hotels don't even pay that. They pay more like 8. Rental cars could pay as little as 5%. Not a lot of money in those kind of transactions. But because a host has that buying power, they're able to negotiate 12, 14, 16, even 18%. And luxury travel partners actually naturally pay a much higher commission. And it's hard to get that access to those higher commission rates if you're all by yourself. It's just a numbers game. It may seem like a lot of bookings to you, the individual, but it's a David and Goliath kind of thing where just compare yourself to a big host that's doing $250 million a year in travel sales, and your $2 million a year in travel sales pales in comparison to that. So you don't have any buying power. You don't have an ability to negotiate a higher commission. So that's just one reason why you might want to consider joining a host, because you will actually make more money, even though you will have possibly a commission split. It's still, 80% of 16% is still going to be higher than 10%, than 100% of 10%. Make sense? And the other reason why you want to, I think, joining a host, what I say in my book is if you want to become a 7-figure travel entrepreneur, I wholeheartedly believe that being hosted is the path. And I'm not saying be hosted with us. We may not be the right match for you, but I am saying find the right host and don't go the independent route. The only reason to go the independent route is if you're going to be maybe you're building a host agency, not just a travel agency, but actually a host agency. Other aspects of a host that are important to consider is the training and the education. And I would dig deep into it. Not just travel advisor training. You want an entrepreneurial business school. The 4 components, the 4 legs to our travel MBA program are: number 1, it's an entrepreneurial business school. Number 2, it is a mentored mastermind program, right? And so being in a mentored mastermind program is probably the most enriching type of way to get schooled. And because you have access to a mentor the whole time, you're in that program with other people on the same path who start at the same time with you. The third leg of our travel MBA program is that it is a luxury travel advisor training program. You've got to know how to book. You got to know how to um, develop workflows that are seamless so that you're delivering a very consistent level of service to your clients. And so that you don't end up like Lucy and Ethel in the chocolate factory episode where the candy starts coming so fast that they don't even know what to do and they start stuffing it in their um, hat and in their mouth, in their pockets, and down their shirt. That happens often if you don't have luxury travel advisor training and you don't make a mistake, right? The last thing you want to do is people are putting a lot of money and their vacation time in your hands. You don't want to make a mistake with it. And the fourth component to our travel MBA program is that it comes with an elevated hosting experience. And that is unbelievably important. One of the things you're going to do as a travel advisor, as I said earlier, is that you are going to be a matchmaker. You think being a travel advisor is all about designing itineraries. Actually, it's not. It's much more about understanding your partners, your preferred partner portfolio, and being a really good listener with your client for what they're trying to achieve with this next trip, and knowing the partner that can deliver on that, and matching them with the right partners, and you present as the go-between. So I think that there are ways to get one of those legs. There are some of these certifications are going to actually educate you on the luxury travel advisor training, but not extensively as we do, because we are a host too. So because we're a host, we can actually recommend in our own preferred partner portfolio who would make a good fit for that client request. There are others that do offer some business training, but again, I don't think it's as extensive as our program. So I guess the answer to the question, is there any other training required? No, there's no other training required. There's no certification. There's no degree. But I think that is the biggest problem. There's a massive business education gap in the travel industry. And so that's why we have so many accidental hobbyists, is because we have all these people that have this booking capability at their fingertips. They've got a lot of passion. They've got a lot of excitement around building a career around this passion, but they don't have a whole lot of in-depth, meaningful guidance on how to actually build a six-figure earning career out of it. And I think I have two more questions, and then that will be it for this episode. So let's do the second to last question is, do travel advisors get to travel for free? Huh. It's a great question. And occasionally, yes, they do get to travel for free. That's rare. And that typically happens once you've established yourself and you are selling. So if you are selling one partner a lot more than many other partners, often that partner will extend a comped cabin on a cruise, or so it does happen. It's very rare that it does happen. Other ways it can happen is we offer a momentum trip and a top producers trip. So you can be invited based upon your status and your host or with that partner to go on free travel, but it's unbelievably rare, and it's also the wrong reason to get into this business. And this is something I also address in my book, that you should be getting into this business for the right reason, because if you get into the business for the wrong reason, you're much less likely to succeed. The right reason is because you want to be of service, you want to share your brilliance with the world and make a positive difference in people's lives. The wrong reason is coming from your ego. It's like, I want to travel more and I want to travel for free. I want to get upgraded when I go places. So And you know what? There's nothing wrong with any of those reasons. There is nothing wrong with it. I just don't want you to start a business, become a travel advisor for that reason. And you will get the benefit of those things. But I want the reason why you are doing this to be heart centered and not head centered. And our last question in today's episode is this something you can do casually while working a full time job, or does it require more commitment? So we you do either. There's lots of people who do it casually. They call it a side hustle while working a full time job. And those are typically the people that just never get past that phase 2 of the business or the break even phase. And they're the ones that are falling into that accidental hobbyist trap. So if you do want to get to 7 figures in sales, 6 figures in earnings, you do need to commit. We tell our travel MBA students to expect about a 20-hour a week commitment. We do not. We have a lot of people that go through our program that have a full-time job. So absolutely you can do both. But if you really want to build a 7 figure business, you are going to have to commit a lot of time. And if you're doing that by yourself without the guidance, just imagine how much longer that's going to take you, which is why we think our program is so important for the person who really wants to get there, is because not only do we show you how to get there, we help you do it in a much faster time period. Okay, so that's all the questions today on the starting from scratch theme. So thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you on the next one.